Hey guys, it's Kussi. Welcome back to episode 6 of enjoying the fast-paced gameplay of this lovely flamethrower before Blizzard changes it to the fireball simulator they love so much. In this Zero to Hero Fire Mage edition. In the last episode, we stacked the biggest vault yet by timing multiple +10 keys for the first time and even going one step further to complete a +11 key while being top DPS. Just to get the arguably best trinket from dungeons on a myth track, simply because this character does deserve some luck every now and then.
For what? Why?
However, not everything was sunshine and rainbows, as we also bricked the easiest key this season because our tank apparently had an allergic reaction to Tank Buster, which made him faint on the spot. We also encountered the #1 contender for biggest prick of the season when meeting a very insecure German brother who acted tough enough to receive a report by yours truly. Yet today is different, because today we put our feet on the gas in an attempt to complete the original goal of this series of all 8 portals. Just so I can reveal that this was all a ruse and there was an even higher goal in mind. A goal neither you, my mom, or my downstairs neighbors who keep humping each other at least 3 times while editing this video saw coming. But for that to happen, we first need to gather more portals. So if that sounds like an episode you want to stay tuned and not skip to the end, you wiener, then make sure to like the video as well as subscribe to the channel, since that's a good thing to do. And who's a good boy?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Alright, so after messing up one of the more difficult dungeons in City of Threats, the journey continued with a +11 now. I mean, this worked in the siege key, why wouldn't it work here? And this one went a lot better right away. No casualties towards the first boss, and because I prepped the perfect opening again with Sunkic's Blessing, Combust, Lust and Potion, there was only one thing that could stop me. Aggro. Fuck! You know how hard you need to be hit to die through a cheat death? And because I used everything in the opener, I had nothing left. To be fair, it's a DK and maybe I should have held it for a second longer. However, this also never happened before and I didn't count this possibility in. So unfortunately, this wasn't the end of the funny business in this dungeon, as the second boss provided a decent challenge. After playing a healer myself, I just know too well how stressful this one can be for so many reasons. But for all of you tank players out there, I'll give you a tip that will potentially save your party's pull. I'm sure you are aware of the 2 Rhyme Dagger casts on the tank that require the entire party to soak. In this specific situation, DKs can use Anti-Magic Shell to ensure they won't get the debuff. Don't use it on the first Rhyme Dagger, use it on the second. Because of the purple stuff on the ground, the second cast requires a lot more coordination as you all have to walk into the same direction together. The first one you can just soak without any problems or further abilities going off. If you don't have an immunity, make sure to ping that direction you want to move, similar to the first boss, so the party has an idea of what your plan is, because if you take too long, you get clipped by the big purple explosion. Now funny enough, even with this boss being a party pooper, we still managed to end up on the last boss with over 3 minutes to play. No lust though. And this looked still very good, until it didn't. Pala and I made a crucial mistake, dying. We still had over a minute for the last 30%, which easily would have been the kill due to the execute phase, so this was annoying. Granted, not only the situation, but me dying on 3 out of 4 bosses was pretty much just sad. But just like the old gods of Blizzard themselves finally wanted me to break this curse, I received a Necrotic Wake. Did that on 8, 2 chested, and ended up with another +10 city. And similar to me finally achieving greatness while successfully passing the 10th grade in school, it took 3 attempts. This time I railed the first boss. Pause. I pounded the twin sisters into a shivering state. Pause. I took the glimmering flashlight to town. Pause. And I showed that final spider chick that my pronouns are "he burns your ass" as we finally successfully ended the curse on the damn dungeon as a top DPS and Keystone Hero. Now, to be transparent for a moment here, I originally wanted to stop the week here with 2 myth slots secured, but I simply couldn't, man. I'm addicted. So I continued, and after completing the Stonewall key I had on the +8 level to receive another 10, I knew it was worth it. Grimbot Hole is one of the 4 dungeons I still need to complete, and I didn't mess around when it came to the team comp. Red Pala is stupid, Enhance is broken, and so are Prot Paladin and Resto Shaman. But in no way whatsoever was I ready for what happened on the first pull that mattered. The Pala used Bob on himself. You know, the physical immunity that makes every mob around them lose aggro for the duration. However, another thing I would not see coming, he actually apologized and said it's his mistake. You don't see that often. True gamer moment. Fortunately, this was a turnaround as we got to the second boss without any further casualties. And wouldn't it be great if we can play that one without any anger or frustration? It would, but why would that be a thing? Our red lost the dice roll as he was the only one out of position but got targeted by the cone. Yet only real gamers would just move on and play around that little hick. Oh no, they're mad. So let's see what happened. The paladin said he got display issues as he apparently had some frame drops. They just laughed at him for making excuses, even though the damage he did there was about half of what he did on the first boss. And what was more annoying was that they just didn't stop. All of them. I don't get it. We didn't wipe. Nothing happened. We didn't break the key. Why are people so mad? And why are you so mad towards another player if you don't even know that Purge, which is your own button, doesn't remove rage effects? But hey, the enhancer surely did let us know that him dying was never his issue. Dying to threat might not be his problem, but it's the problem of the tank that was also shit-talking the red paladin. See where I'm going with this? Granted, I was very surprising the red paladin just took all of that and kept going. He probably wanted to leave but felt bad for Mikey, which I highly appreciate. And even at the final boss, this wank of a shaman just kept going and going. How sad is your life, big boy? How can this be the thing that lives rent-free in your head? Granted, this probably German dude, considering his name, did some damage. On the meta spec. Calm down, man. I reported him afterwards though, as he just maybe took it a step too far, and I don't even want to play the same game as he does. Don't get me wrong, I'm also frustrated at times whenever I or somebody else just dies stupidly and breaks the key. But nothing got bricked, and when I complain to myself and not to the party. Trash talking your teammate during a run will never have a positive effect on the outcome. Nobody is trash on purpose. The only good thing it may achieve is boosting your fragile sad little ego of a probably unemployed loser. Don't be like the shaman. Be better. Back to a more positive mindset, because RNGesus, we ended up with yet another key I needed, as the last time, it got bricked and abandoned, Dawnbreaker 10. And even though my vault was already stacked to a third myth slot, I didn't want to miss out on this, simply because of the rock hard
Whoa, calm down, Jamal.
dedication I have towards my Zero to Hero characters. This ain't no funny side business, baby. We live for that shit. Multiple things I like to mention during this run are, first of all, I'm a flippin' hero. Our tank died to the tank buster, wonder where I've seen that before, but don't you worry, big bro,
Bruh.
Oh, he's already resting. Okay, but I would have, and that's a thought that counts.
Okay.
Another thing that mentioned is the rogue. Giga Gamer, fat ass red IO, fat ass gear, and he was also upset at our paladin. However, he packaged it differently. He called him an animal for letting him die, but then probably realized that came off harsher than it meant to be, so he covered it up by giving him wonky names. And so did I. Which felt weird cause nobody continued after me and I just came off as a pervert instead. Yet since this was a juicy 2-chester, 6 out of 8 portals secured, and because I didn't get a key I needed, I ended this week with a big progress towards our journey's end. This now means, in American fashion, we always go bigger and better. So without any further ado, the legit biggest vault we could have asked for. 3 hero raid slots for potential Spymaster and 3 myth dungeon slots. This was a wild one. Oh, on this note, Spymaster just doesn't seem to drop for my mage at all. I can spoil this much, at the time of writing this, I didn't see it drop for 4 weeks. That's annoying. Though Myth Shoulders is still a huge upgrade for the future, so no complaints on my end, considering the only Giga item would have been Changeling. This is the second best possibility by far. Quick recap, we do have 6 out of 8 portals, and the ones that are missing are Arakara and Stonevault. And would you look at that? We got one of them as our first key of the week. Though is it weird to say that I'm a lot more worried about the Spider Dungeon than Stonevault? Last boss really traumatized my arachnophobia having ass. But it's step up or get stepped on, and even though I know that you'd love that, you
Sick freak.
I was not in the mood to take the god-given luck of the draw on my Arakara key and drag it through the dirt. So I gathered 4 fine-ass warriors in order to help me out in this spider-infested hellhole. And when I say warriors, I don't actually mean the class, it's... yeah. So we did get better plate classes in Frost Decay and Red Paladin, so that kinda counts?
No.
We took down the 8-legged menace, ugly bug cousin Ron, and the harvesting muppet that is going to be an absolute nightmare whenever Arakara returns as a Mythic Plus dungeon in the future. All while abusing the probably best affix of this season. Voidbound, baby. Voidbound pretty much spawns a son of that from Wish that needs to be beaten up in order to receive a fat cooldown reduction as well as 20% flat verse. Holy mother of Jesus, 20% damage and healing done is insane. But what do you know, after receiving one of the 2 keys I need from the vault, the next one was legit the missing piece. Stonevault is up for grasp, and because I don't want to deal with any kind of bullshit, I convinced my party to do this on 11, even though they were hesitant. But I had 2 choices. Either we try 11, potentially brick it for me to have another 10 to go, or we step up again and make it happen. Or I simply dipped the key before we start, cause they sounded like little bitch boys.
Yeah, baby!
Second option logged in, and this time we actually did have a warrior. But not only that, we had a brewmaster and a holy paladin. It's been forever since I've seen any of those bad boys. And we started off big. Sort of. But hey, if it gets the job done, pull as little as you want, fam. Though one question remained. Can the healer play the affix, and could the monk lift that by himself if he needs to? Looks like the answer to the second question has to wait, cause our holy PP is performing. Even though his name is kinda sus. Though of course this run can't be all fun and rainbows. And so we wiped due to a pretty avoidable scenario. You see, our healer had 3 debuffs rolling, which is fair for the amount of healing, but because of the debuff, 2 stacks of the explosion smoked him Texas barbecue style, and just when he accepted the rest. So that was key, is what I would say if we weren't packed with giga chats that have nothing but heart. Our warrior friend here was all about communication, making sure the party's on the same page, and even ensuring that everyone knows I will kick the cast of the little guy after jumping into the distance, because I'm the only one who can reach him. And don't forget the pumpage. Brother Brock and his Wish version of Iron Man got completely smashed, and so we opened our pathway to glory by having 10 minutes and only 1 more wing to take care of. So you know what's about to happen. We pull the stone guy and wipe cause the tank dies. Wait, what? No wipe, huh? Like we actually timed it? Alright, cool. Now here's the deal. Yes, I would have liked more drama on the last key, but what do you want me to do about it? We had 1 hiccup on the stone boss, but other than that, this was a clean run. Solid damage and good healing. Which now means the original goal of this series is over.
No! No! No!
So here's what's next.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
When I created this mage, I checked for one specific reason to choose this server. Lightbringer EU is empty as hell. I'm talking 400 people or so. Hell, there are only 35 ranked fire mages on this realm, and I was ranked 1 fire mage here once I was above 2100. But with a score of 2649, I am also rank 5 mage on the server, which means I'm less than 100 away from rank 1. Now, is this just some cheeky clickbait rank 1 from Wish that doesn't mean anything? Sure. Will I still get rank 1 and put that thing in my Tinder profile? Absolutely. So the goal is clear. Even though this series is now officially over, it's not the last episode. Cause Kusi will rise.